There's a pretty crazy story that came out today from Dana White Contender Series fighter Namo Fazil, who we saw lose on the show this past week. But ACD MMA goes through the entire thing here. So we're going to get into it. There's a lot of details here, so bear with me as far as what allegedly happened to him before this fight. But the short of it is, he claims he was attacked by 15 Chechens before his fight, which he ended up losing on Tuesday. So we'll go through and read everything, and I'll give my quick take on this. But this is just a really crazy story if it is a true story here. So again, Namo Fazil claims that he was attacked in his hotel room by 15 Chechens before the fight, including Khamzat Chimaev's teammate Basangur Sursukayev. We obviously know him, hot prospect in the middleweight division. Dana White hinted that Fazil got into some trouble this week, but didn't reveal what the trouble was. Fazil spoke about the attack. He says, I want to talk to you about something. As you know, I fought yesterday and want to explain why I wasn't able to put on a good performance. Okay, so he ended up saying this yesterday. As well, because obviously today's today's Wednesday. Never mind, I'm getting my days mixed up. Okay, so we do have this right. This did happen today. If you noticed, I didn't fight like the Namo Fazil you're used to seeing. I wasn't myself. In the middle of my weight cut, this is where things get crazy. I only had about 3 or 4 kilos left to lose. For the fights, I cut around 14 kilos total. I'd already lost more than 10 kilos. Then, while I was in that condition, someone was going to come in my room, into my home, my room, and attack me. About 3 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. I said to my coach, could you please open the door? They confronted me. My coaches stood up while I was still wrapped in blankets. There was 15 of them, and 15 people who came were Chechen. One of them suddenly came at me and slapped me. He slapped me a second time. My coaches were holding me back saying, Namo, you're not going to fight. They were stopping me because I had the fight. I told them basically, be a man, let me finish my fight first, then we can settle this. He was saying, let's fight now. And I said, no, I have a fight. Wait, my coaches intervened. And once a scuffle broke out, the other group, became scared and ran off. The police came. There was shouting and commotion in the hotel lobby. At the end of the day, this isn't a Van Damme movie. There were 15 people. If they really wanted to, they could have done much worse to me. Clearly, they had some kind of objective. People want to know what happened. Maybe nobody actually knows the truth. As a man, it's extremely difficult for people to come at you like that, for you to just stand there and say nothing. But I don't belong to myself anymore. If I am Namo Fazil, it's because you, the supporters, like you say, I'm someone who now represents all of you. I didn't want to come out afterwards making excuses saying this happened, that happened, but I believe that this needs to be talked about so people can understand why I wasn't at my best. Despite everything, I still went out there and fought. It just wasn't the kind of fight performance I wanted. Khamzat Chimaev's teammate Basangur Sursukayev posted an Instagram story yesterday after Fazil's loss, featuring a bunch of laughing emojis and a story that said it's such a pleasant night tonight. So he does acknowledge that there's obviously something going on between the two. I mean, obviously, I don't think people expected hearing this type of story, but that's still pretty crazy. Chimaev also left a comment on the video that showed Fazil getting knocked out and seemed to enjoy it. Fazil fought and beat Chechen fighter named Yakub Suleimanov last year and supposedly talked bad about Chechnya in the lead up to the fight. And this kind of checks out in terms of him beating that opponent. But not only that, if you've seen some of the interviews from Fazil leading into his Contender Series fight, this guy's an entertainer. He likes to talk a little bit of smack. I even noticed it coming on my feed and everything else, that this was a guy that was trying to hype up a fight. So this would kind of this kind of makes sense what he's saying in terms of pissing off a certain group and them getting very upset at him and feeling disrespected, because again, this is a guy, this isn't some guy who's very quiet in his interviews. He's out promoting the fight. So that would kind of line up with the story of saying something that irked Khamzat Chimaev and his team. So there's the proof of Basangur with the story. Left hand 2-0 Namo crier. So again, this would kind of imply that this lines up with him slapping. Again, he's kind of bragging about it here, right? Chimaev, puts Brazil with the, strong arm. Again, Chimaev obviously supporting him getting knocked out. Basangur calling him a crier. And then this is the actual video here. It's about 3 minutes long, but I just read it there, as you can see. And then you see some of the comments here. Now, there was also some other people have kind of chimed in on this, adding some more information. 2 days before the fight, Namo Fazil was attacked by a group of spineless Chechens led by Sursukayev. This is what this guy's claiming. Obviously, he's a supporter of Fazil. These people have no backbone. They had to gang up on one man who was alone. So here's some more details. Namo stated that it wasn't the right time to fight back, so he told Sursukayev, if you're a real man, let me finish my fight first, and then I'll tell you where you can go, when we can go and fight. Sursukayev's group was eventually escorted out of his house by security guards and manager Ali Abdelaziz. So apparently Ali was there. Ali's not his manager, by the way, unless that's changed. As far as I know, Sursukayev's manager is Dave Martin. It even says it in his bio. If you look on his Instagram, it says manager is, and then it tags Dave Martin's thing. So I don't know why Ali was there. So allegedly, I want to be clear, this is alleged, okay? Later, Susurkayev shared a photo with the caption saying, "My brothers are wolves." Okay, here's another additional part. Susurkayev shared a photo with the caption saying, "My brother are wolves. In Chechen culture, the wolf is a symbol of bravery and courage. They are ready to die or kill anyone for their honor and dignity." Some serious shit there, right? Look carefully at the photograph. Memorize the faces of the 15-member Chechen gang that attacked the Kurdish athlete Fazil just before the fight night. Whether you find this corrupt, strike them with the blow of the sacred, glorious Kurdish nation. So again, some Kurd fans obviously chiming in on this as well. See some other people with some comments. Attack him 15 days before this fight. Look, I made fun of Namo Fazil for talking a lot of shit, but this is just so embarrassing from Hamzat and his team with their fragile ego and ganging up on one person. So a lot of people are believing this story and thinking it's happening. Again, the evidence kind of checks out a little bit. I don't know, we'd have to hear both sides. I mean, I doubt Chimaev and his team would like admit to like attacking someone, although they're kind of bragging about it here, right? So yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, this is kind of like shades a little bit, not exact same situation, but this reminds me a bit of the situation with Artem Lobov and Khabib. Remember, Artem Lobov was supposed to fight on that infamous card where Conor McGregor threw the dolly, and that's, people always misremember that story. That whole thing started, the whole reason Conor McGregor came to Brooklyn to attack Khabib's bus was because Khabib and his, now obviously Khabib is Dagestani, not Chechen, I want to be clear about that, but I'm just saying it reminded me of that situation. Obviously that didn't get physical with Lobov and Khabib, but Khabib and his team did surround Lobov and try and intimidate him, and similar tactics here with 15 members of a team allegedly going up and talking to Fazil here. So, yeah, so pretty crazy stuff here. We'll see what comes out of this, if anything comes out at all. It's trending on X right now. Thought I'd do a video on this. Again, I did hear about Fazil and obviously watched this fight this week. He ended up losing, like I mentioned, to Khalik Brito, losing in the third round. He was on the MVP card. He sort of got some notoriety for that, and that's, I assume, what got him in the UFC. But yeah, the teammate they're referring to is this Yakub Sulemayev, who, as you can see here, is from Chechnya. So a lot to kind of unpack here. We'll see if anything comes out of this. Like, is the UFC going to do anything? Are they going to connect the dots? Or I mean, it said the police were called. Is there like an open case on this? I don't know. Or is this something that's just going to be part of MMA lore, like the Lee Murray story of knocking out Tito Ortiz back in the day? Is it going to be like that? I don't know. But either way, pretty crazy stuff here. I don't think this is the last we'll hear of Namo Fazil. Again, very big personality. I'm sure the UFC wanted him to win, just with a guy that is doing a good job of selling his fights. So I don't think this will be the last of him. But yeah, some interesting allegations here from Namo Fazil ahead of his Dana White Contender Series fight, which he ended up losing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe this story? Let me know your thoughts on all this. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.